Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and to a brand new video. Today we're going to do this little makeup look for New Year is what I'm planning on doing for Rcma. Just something nice and simple. I am by no means an MUA, so if there are techniques that I'm using that are incorrect then just skip on by. But I wanted to show you how easy and achievable it is to do a nice base, something nice and glowy, and also show you some new products that I've been using and absolutely loving. So if you do want to see how I got this look then just keep watching. So I'm going to start off with my base. Now I do tend to like try loads of new products and then I stick to things that are my favourites for years, but I'm going to show you some new stuff in this because when I do these makeup videos I feel like oftentimes I use the same stuff all the time. So I'm going to show you a few new products that I have been really liking. First up being this one here, which I actually got in a Glossy Box monthly subscription. So this one here is the Figs and Rouge Blurring Primer. It's the satin soft one. So this is a primer that's going to really help to blur out any of your pores and also make a really nice base for your makeup. I really like the formula of this because it's quite gel-like, and then when it dries in it just makes for the perfect base for your foundation. Before we start we need to excuse the hands because the tan fails this year have been real. So for my foundation I'm going to go in with two. This has been a new favourite of mine. This is the new Skin Bioadaptive BB cream, which basically when you put in your skin it just sort of absorbs in like a cream but gives you that kind of nice foundation skin feel. So as much as you can build that up to be full coverage, it does still feel nice and light on your skin. So I'm going to go ahead and use one pump of this because it does give me that nice moisture that I like from my cream, but obviously it's a foundation, it's a BB cream, and it's also got SPF 35 in it, which is great if you're going on holiday this year. And then I'm also going to take this little dupe here. This is the Primark My Perfect Colour Double Coverage Matte Foundation, which is the dupe for double wear. It's really good. It's a little bit darker than this colour, so I'm just going to pop a little bit onto my brush and probably match the same amount. And that's only £5. I'm using the shade Toffee for that one, and then for the BB cream I'm using it in the shade Sand. So this one comes in 12 different shades and I actually recommend that you use it with a brush. I mix these two together on one cheek and then transfer it over to the other. And because we're doing this for New Year, I want to have a nice full coverage look, and it's all about my skin looking really nice and flawless. And it's just nicer getting to wear a bit more of a heavier makeup these days. Obviously through lockdown I just had like no makeup days and whatever, but I actually find that when I've got makeup on I'm more productive because I feel like I'm more dressed for any occasion. And before that actually dries down I then go in with other cream products. So I've got a cream blush and I've also got a cream contour. So for my blush I'm going in with Pixie on the Glow Blush. It's a stick and it's like a really nice creamy consistency. This is in the shade Ruby and I have got it in another two shades that it comes in. So I'm going to take that up quite high on my cheek like this. And at first I think it looks quite scary, but you just literally need a little dab of that. And then I'm going to blend it in using this stippling brush. And it just melts into your foundation. It's so easy to blend it out. And I do keep it quite high. I try not to come right down to the apple of my cheeks. I've been keeping it higher because everything that I've seen online just now on TikTok and on Instagram is saying to keep your blush kind of from the middle section of your eye upwards and try not to take it down because it actually gives you a little bit of like a facelift if you do it this way and keep your products nice and high. Weirdly enough, I actually also take a little bit of this product on the brush and put it on the tip of my nose, just because I think it adds a little bit more dimension to my face. So just like that. And then I'm going to take my contour, which is actually just like a darker shade concealer, which is the Full Cover one by Makeup Forever, and this is the Full Cover concealer, and I only need the tiniest amount of this. Using concealer as your contour is actually really good because it does tend to last longer. So I'm going to take that up to my cheekbones, and then I'll just take a little smidge of it on the end of my nose, and then I'll do a tiny little line across my forehead and then a little bit underneath my chin. And I'm only using tiny amounts of this because it's always easier to add than to take away. So I'm going to just take this here up to my hairline. Just see how easily that just blends in. And the shade I've got this in is number 18. This is really good for kind of shortening your forehead and blending into your hairline. And then I'll take this here and try and keep it as high as possible. And then I'll also take this into the side of my brow because it actually helps to blend out the eyeshadow. I know a lot of people do their eyeshadow before their base, but I feel like I can't see how my eyeshadow should be shaped until I've done my base. So I always tend to do foundation first. But you see how that tiny little bit of concealer really does go a long way? And even like it's quite cost effective as well to do it that way. So again, just taking it into my temple and then the corner of my eye like this, and then blending it into that blush like that. Then I don't really feel like I need to contour my nose much because I have got quite a tiny little nose, so otherwise I end up just looking a bit too sharp. But I do take the excess and just go down the side of the bridge of my nose and then on the tip and then again down the other bridge. And I actually take this brush across my eyelids as well, just because I think contouring right into your bridge of your nose from your eyes, it all connects and looks a little bit more natural, if you can even say that for full coverage. And then under my chin I'm going to just take that back like this, and then I'm going to connect that all around my jawline and try and get rid of all the mince pies that I've had over Christmas. I hope you've all had a lovely time. Have you been seeing family? Have you isolated? I know so many people that have had to do that. It was just so sad. It was actually nice this year getting to see family again because we've obviously not had that last year. Right, now for me I feel like that is perfect. I don't need to do any more with the concealer or the contour colour that I've got. I can just keep it like this and I think that looks all really nice and blended out. Obviously if you feel like it's too dark or it's too heavy in certain areas, you can go back in with your little brush. Just use wee stippling movements, I think is usually best, just to make sure you're nice and blended out. And as you'll have noticed, I don't tend to use a whole load of concealer because I find this is quite brightening under my eyes anyway, and sometimes I actually find the more product I put underneath my eyes, the more that my eyeshadow bleeds and my mascara bleeds, and it actually makes my under eye look really heavy and actually older. So I try and keep it nice and light under the eyes. Before I go ahead and set all that down, I'm going to go in with the Hero. Now sometimes I do this twice. This is the tiniest sample of this stuff, but honestly it lasts forever. It's the Iconic London Illuminating drops. So stunning. What colour have I got them in? Is this original? I don't even know if yeah, it's original. So it's the tiniest little pot and it's got tons left and I use it every day and have done since like the summer. So you are actually meant to suck some of the product up using the little dropper, but I don't think you need to do that. I feel like as long as it's got enough to dip into, then just on the end of this and on the actual applicator, on the wee dropper, there's usually enough. So again, I just did a little bit here on my Cupid's bow and then I'll do a little dot on my nose, kind of like that amount, and then on my cheeks I take this nice and high and I go just literally underneath my eye, just a few little drops like that. It's not even drops, it's just dabbing it with the applicator like that. And I do keep it super high on my cheeks because when you blend it out you don't want it going down too far. And then I use a brush, I don't use my fingers, I use this little brush which is actually the Just Right one from Poundland. Really nice and soft, and I just take it across my lips like this. And then I do the end of my nose. Then I go down the bridge. And then I just literally dab it on my cheekbones and I take it up onto my brow bone here, like so. And using this product just honestly elevates your makeup. If you're not a big fan of cream products, you still need to try this because even over powder, even over matte makeup, just popping a bit of this on makes the world of difference. And I do use it again, I go over with the brush again just once I powder down to make sure I've still got the glowiness. So we are moving on to powder. This one here, this powder of mine is an absolute saviour. It is the Rcma No Colour powder. It's not the translucent, it's the No Colour. And all I do is tap it like this. I've had it for ages. And anything that's remaining in this lid, I'll use, take it in the lid, and I can take a nice fluffy brush. Dum dum dum. And I go in here, I go under the eye like this. And I go around underneath my lips. And you'll see that I'm actually not swooping this on, I'm pressing it right in to try and mattify down all of that liquid that we've just used. So I take it along like the smile lines, I take it under my eyes, and I take it around my chin. And it just really finishes off your makeup and it keeps it in place all day. So that is the base, pretty much done. I'm happy with that. I might go in with a wee bit more blush, which I do tend to do, and for me the blush of choice would always be Nars Orgasm. So it's got a lovely pinky tone, but it's also got all these lovely iridescent light reflecting little kind of shimmers through it. So I'm just going to take that up nice and high. And the same on the other side. And then again a little bit across my nose. Now moving on to brows, I feel like I can't do my eyeshadow without having my eyebrows done, because again I feel like I need to follow the shape of my eyebrows. So I'm going to go ahead and do my brows, and I'm using this new product, which is the Faux Brow by XX Revolution, which I think is actually their sort of like professional range. So it's got your little spoolie on one side, and then it's got a really quite thick brow pencil, which is good for getting behind the hairs, and you get this little nice sort of soft brush for doing your brows. You okay, darling? Deep brown. And I'm going to just go underneath the front of my brow and just start adding a little bit of colour. This is more about adding colour and thickness rather than going in for like the definition. So that gives me the bulk of my brow. So as you can see, I've not done the front of it, I've literally just gone through the shape that's already there and just darkened it a bit. So I'm going to do the same on the other side, and then we'll come back and do the kind of more defining hairs. So of course I've got my microblading done, which needs topped up, so it can often kind of fade up quite light. So I'm just making sure that behind the brow hairs I've got some colour. Now I'm actually going to go in with something that's not a brow product, but it's something I use all the time, and you'll see this, it's well loved. It's the Anastasia Beverly Hills Creamy Contour Palette. It is absolutely filthy because I use it all the time, but I'm taking the deepest contour shade that's on this and I'm popping it onto a little angled brush. And now all I do with this is I use it like a brow pomade, and it's really good, see, because it's so creamy and it's so easy to draw with. I find it really good for defining my brows. So I'm going to take that and go straight under, and I'm going to draw a line from underneath my brow, and I'm going to connect it to where the arch starts. And then I'm going to go over the arch. So I've just defined that a little bit more, and then I'm going to take that out to the tail and then just let that tail off. And then at the front of my brow, I'm going to start doing little strokes up the way. So that still looks a little bit patchy at the front, but what I'm going to do is use a brown mascara to go for that, because I have got hairs at the front there, but they're just quite pale. So again, I'm just going to repeat the same process on the other side, and then I'll put a brown mascara on top of it. I'm just going to set these with a brown mascara. It's a clear one actually that I'm using, but sometimes it's enough to pick up the pigment behind the brow and just sort of like add it to the clear gel, and then it just gives you a bit more definition, so that looks way better already. And I do get tons of questions about brows on Instagram, so I hope this explains it a wee bit. If you're from Insta, then hopefully you're watching this part and you can see how I do my brows. Moving on to eyeshadow, this is the next step for me. I would normally go in with my Vive Essentials palette. I absolutely love this palette, it's so good. It's lasted me for ages, like all the pans are still full and I've had it since literally it was released. I use it pretty much daily. At the moment I'm going to go for the colour Buff, which is up at the top here. It's kind of like a mustardy brown. And then I'm also going to go in with Chow as well. So I'm going to take Buff on this nice fluffy brush and I'm just literally going to put it all in my crease and then up towards my brow. And then I'm taking Chow just at the top part of that, which is more like a yellow mustard tone. You can see it right here. And then to go into the crease, I'm taking the exact same brush again. I'm going to go in with the colour Delicious, which is this chocolate brown colour here. And I pretty much do this exact eye every time. I'm going to just take that right in and I'm going to stamp it at the corner like this. I'll do the same on the other side. And I'm going to take it on top of my lash line as well, so it's almost like a big kind of Amy Winehouse like thick winged liner, but we're going to buff it all out. And then I'm also going to take Delicious onto this little thinner flat brush and take it underneath my eyes. And then take it under my eyes like this. Because I'm about to put on a waterline liner, which again isn't my everyday, but because I'm doing my makeup for New Year, I like to have a nice smoky eye, and this is very much like the smoky eye that I did on Christmas Day. So I'm quite happy with that. Now what I'm going to do is take the Peaches and Cream eyeshadow primer, which is this little thing here, and pop a little bit of that on the lid. Now it's a kind of creamy, neutral foundation like colour. Just patting on the lid and then the front. Taking that to the whole front and the middle of my lid, but I'm not touching the side. And what I'm going to do is, using my finger, I'm going to take the colour Carrot on this and also Glimmer. So I'm going to take Glimmer first and just pop it straight onto my pinky. The payoff of these is really nice, they're nice and creamy. So I'm just going to pop that straight on by pressing it. And then I'm also going to then take Carrot and put it more in the centre. Then I'm just going to literally blend that into the dark colour with that same fluffy brush. Just let them meet in the middle a little bit on the crease. If you take more, I'm taking Delicious again, which is a nice chocolate brown. And something I find really important for me is to take that Glimmer shade on a nice wet brush and take it right into the inner corner, because there's something about that inner corner little glimmer, literally that's the name of the colour, that really makes your eye pop. Like, look at the difference, can't you see that? That little bit there just makes such a difference. And just to warm this whole eye up, I'm going to take the shade Cozy. It's that middle kind of like terracotta colour, and I'm going to take that on a bigger blending brush, and I'm just going to make sure it hits the middle of the eye and then let it sweep over the rest. It just warms it up a little tiny bit. And then I'm also going to take a little bit of Glimmer on that brush again, and I'm going to pop it under my brow. For me, I just feel like my eyes don't properly come together until I've got my eyeliner on, or if I didn't have my lashes on, then I really need my lashes to really see the whole eyeshadow coming together, especially since I'm totally not a pro. I feel like that really just helps to make it look a little bit more put together. So I'm going to take this really nice soft kohl pencil. It's by Diego de la Palma and it's just in the shade 1, so it's a really, really intense black. And I'm going to take this in my waterline. So I put that right in my waterline and I'm going to take it right into my tear duct as well. And a little trick that I like to do, if I take the pencil and pop it in my tear duct and drag it outwards, it gives you a nice sharp line in that little inner corner. And it just really elongates your eye. So I'm going to take that and do the same at the other side. Just do a little, almost like a little flick. This is the Glow pomade. It's really good and you hardly need anything. I'm going to take this on an angled brow brush, but it's actually really good because you can almost use the line of this like a little stamper all round your eye, especially if you're not very good at using the kind of longer eyeliners. Definitely try this. I find you get much more control with it. So I'm virtually just going to look down and draw along my lash line, which I find is easier if you start in the middle. And because you're using this and it is straight and it's bigger, you're almost guaranteed a straight line. So it's really good. And then when you get to the end, I'm going to angle this on the corner and do a tiny swooping motion upwards, and that's how I get my tiny little wing. Do you see that? It's so easy. If you're trying to do winged liner and you're still using a thin eyeliner, then try doing this because it's so much easier. So I try and keep it heavier at the end and then take it nice and thin as we get to the front. And that is my winged liner. So easy to do. I'm just going to do the other side now. Now that both winged liners are done, you might want to go in and do some more smokiness. So I'm again going to go in with the Delicious colour and go underneath just the corner, the outer corner, just to really smoke that out. And then we want to do some mascara, so I'm going to go in with the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. It's a really nice wand, quite curved, and I'm going to load up my bottom lashes because I feel like that really helps to make it more of a smoky eye and more of a party look rather than everyday, especially when you're using neutrals. So I'm going to squeeze my eyes up because I always find that helps if you do this. And it makes your bottom lashes massive. So that's my eyes all done. I'm going to go into lips. Now this lip colour I have been obsessed with. First of all, I'm using Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk, and then I'm going to go in and use this one. It's the Sultry Move Powder Kiss lipstick by MAC. If you've not tried the Powder Kiss range, it's that sort of like silky, almost like a rubbery feeling little bullet. They are so nice. They last for so long in your lips, and when they wear off, it just looks really natural. You know, sometimes when you wear matte lipsticks and they wear off and they just look a bit patchy, these come off gorgeous through the day, so you're not constantly having to reapply. It just looks quite natural the way that it wears off. So I'm going to go ahead and line my lips, and I'm going to not talk because I'm terrible for that. Whenever I'm on camera or even voice noting or whatever, I try and talk when I'm doing my lip liner. So I'm going to take Pillow Talk by Charlotte Tilbury and just overline my lips slightly, but also fill them in because I think it actually primes your lips for your lipstick better and helps it to last longer. So for me with my lip liner, I just try and make sure that I get to the edge, and anything that bleeds in the way is fine. So I kind of line it up, and then you'll see actually that all over this it's all kind of coloured because I sort of like drag it like this to blend it in. It's just the way that I've always done it. I think it works really well. And then I'll do this corner. I know a lot of people when they get to their cupid's bow they just draw straight across. I just don't do that. I like to have the look of my lips like a cupid's bow at the top. I think it's really quite a pretty shape. Okay, so there is the lip liner looking a little bit scary. And then I'm going to go in with Sultry Move. Sultry Move is the name of it. And so this is the full finished look. Skin looks lovely and glowy. I'm really happy with that. The lip colour is lovely, nice and powdery, and just quite a natural lip colour, nothing too crazy. Eyes are nice and shimmery for New Year, and the only thing I would then do now is possibly take the ends of this brush here and just go over any of my little highlighted areas just to add a little bit more dewiness to my skin. So we had the iconic London drops on it. And then the real finishing product is my setting spray. So I've been using this, as you can see, quite a lot of it. It's the Milk Hydro Refresh Spray. You can use this before makeup, but you can also use it after, and I love it for after. It's a bi-phase product, so you need to shake it. So it's got really nice dewy products in it. And I'll leave that to dry, and then I'll show you a close-up look when it's all set. My loves, this is the finished makeup. It's just really easy. I am by no means an MUA, do not know what I'm doing, but this is what works for me. And whenever I do put my makeup like this over on Instagram, I do get quite a lot of DMs asking what products I'm using. So anything I've used is listed below in the description box. If you just click under the video title, it'll open it all out, and I'll leave all the shades, colours, numbers, everything there. So if you want to recreate it yourself, you can do. But really easy, nice and dewy. It's going to last all day, with obviously setting it with the Rcma powder. You get the really nice glow there from the iconic drops. The smoky eye, really nice. Even underneath, having the smoke underneath, it's good if your eyeshadow and your mascara did bleed, then obviously you've got a little bit of shading under there anyway, so it's not going to be too noticeable, especially when we're all drunk at New Year. I really enjoyed sitting here doing this with you today. If there's any other makeup looks you'd like to see, even just day-to-day stuff, then do let me know. Or if there's something you'd like me to try out, then do leave it in the comments below, and I will see you guys really soon. Have a lovely New Year when it comes to you, and I will see you in 2022. Bye guys!